Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, we are going to be going over the Goodreads winners of 2021 as well as looking over the nominees and loosely constructing a 2022 TBR. So I went over all the books that were nominated in that one and I picked 37 books that I want to read, which is a lot. So I probably won't read all of those in 2022 because I have to buy all of those books, but some of them will get read. So let's get started. We're going to get started with the fiction category. So best fiction, who was the winner? And that was A Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney, which I have on my shelf right here. And this one actually by a good amount. It got 69,000 votes and then second place got 43,000 votes. Not very surprising because I know a lot of people love Sally Rooney. Conversation with Friends and Normal People. I've heard a lot of hype surrounding this author, so I'm super excited to read this book here. So that one is definitely on my TBR. But let's look at some of the nominations that are on my TBR because I selected 3 of them I want to read in 2022. The first one is called Dial A for Aunties. This is the one that came in second place. And I just have to read you the first line of the synopsis because you'll just understand why I want to read it once, Okay, what happens when you mix one accidental murder with 2,000 wedding guests and then toss it in a possible curse on 3 generations of an immigrant Chinese Indonesian family? You get 4 meddling Asian aunties coming to the rescue. I don't know. This book just sounds amazing. Okay, it honestly gives me anxious people vibes, and that's why I want to read it so bad. I mean, nowhere in the synopsis does it say oh, if you like anxious people, you'll like this book, but those are just the vibes I'm getting. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this book. Next one I chose to add to my 2022 TBR is The Guncle, and I'll also read you a little bit from this. It says, a warm, deeply funny novel about a once famous gay sitcom star whose unexpected family tragedy leaves him with his niece and nephew for the summer. Sounds like a really nice family feel-good story. I know there's gonna be a bit of sadness, but there's probably also gonna be a lot of heartwarming in it too. I just love the premise of that book. Now we are going on to Best Mystery and Thriller category, and the winner was The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. This book, I want to add to my TBR. It sounds really interesting. It's about a wife, a husband, and a stepdaughter, and basically the husband disappears and leaves the wife a note saying protect her, meaning protect his 16-year-old daughter. I think the FBI and the CIA get involved, her husband is not what he seems to be or not who he says he was. And it's just a mystery. I'm pretty sure he's a spy or something. So there's that. That's the first book I want to read on this list. The next one I want to read is called Arsenic and ADOBO. And it sounds like such a cute book. It sounds like a mystery thriller, but cute and fun. And maybe a hint of rom-com in it. The first book in a new culinary cozy series. Culinary cozy mystery, that just sounds amazing. That makes me excited already. When Lila moves back home to recover from a horrible breakup, her life seems to be following all the typical rom-com tropes. And then she goes to help her aunt with her aunt's restaurant, and there's this really mean food critic that comes in, and it happens to be Lila's ex-boyfriend, and then he dies after eating the food, meaning he was poisoned. So there's where the mystery comes in, and it's also fun, and it's a mystery series, which I'm really excited about, so I just think this would be a fun read. The next book I want to read is called A Local Woman Missing, and this book, I don't know, the synopsis just sounds really interesting. So it is about this girl who disappears. Why do I call everyone girl? I should be lady, right? She's a woman. She's old, right? Okay, this woman that disappears, and then her 6-year-old daughter ends up disappearing, I think a week later. And then her daughter comes back 11 years later. So what, that would make her 17 at that time. And everyone's okay, what happened to you? Do you know what happened to your mom? This whole situation is weird. And that's what the book's about. I want to read Not a Happy Family by Sherry Lapina. This book I want to read. Oh, if you hear any noises, my dog's over here. And he's chewing on something, having fun, having a blast. At least it's keeping him entertained. Okay, so Not a Happy Family by Sherry Lapina. This one I think is about a rich family. Okay, you can see his little ears right here. Oh my god, he's the cutest thing ever. When he plays with his toys, he likes to talk to them and growl at them while he plays with them. Anyway, this one is about a rich family. I believe the parents are murdered, and then I think in the synopsis it says something oh, the kids aren't as sad as they should be, or something like that, or they're sad, or are they? So it's implied one of the kids or another family member murdered their parents. It's who did it? That's it. That's the premise. Next category we're going over is Best Historical Fiction. The winner of that category is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Also have that here as well. This book here, I haven't read yet either. All these books I bought on Black Friday and haven't really read any of them yet. But this book, I don't even really know what it's about. I just know Taylor Jenkins Reid wrote it, and I love Daisy Jones and the Six. I love The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, so I just know I'm gonna love this book. But other than that, the only book I really want to read in this category is The Lost Apothecary, and the only reason I really want to read it is because it has a really pretty cover, and I know it was hyped up on BookTube. So it's like a cover buy, and also it's hyped up, and I'm just buying into the hype type of buy. But in second place came The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. This actually won Book of the Month like year thing too, like the one Book of the Year within like the Book of the Month realm. And I don't know why, like I read the synopsis, it just sounds so boring. The next category we're going over is Best Fantasy, and the winner was A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. Not really surprising, she has a huge following behind her. This one is not going to be added to my TBR because, well, I haven't read, it's like the third in the series, and I haven't read any of the other stuff in the series, so it's like, why would I read that one unless I read the other ones? And I don't really want to read her stuff until I read the Throne of Glass series. Like, when it comes to authors that have big series, like Cassandra Clare, Sarah J. Maas, I just want to read all their stuff in order, you know? So that one will not be added to my TBR, but came in second place was Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune, another one I have right here. And this book is about somebody who dies and they're just trying to live kind of like they're kind of stuck in like the halfway place between life and death, and they just kind of want to live their life or like do things before they fully cross over. Something like that. The next book in the fantasy category that I want to add to my TBR is She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. This is a book I've heard a lot of great things about. This was featured in one of my favorite booktubers. She did like a reading vlog and she loved this book, hyped it up so much. So I really want to read this book because of the hype, and I'm like, ooh, okay, that one I definitely want to read. And I actually tried to buy this one. I was like willing to buy it full price, and it just wasn't in stock in my Barnes & Noble, which made me sad. And that's the only reason I did not read it in 2021. So I will definitely be reading this one in 2022 because I'm fine buying it full price. Most books I am not fine buying full price. I like love to thrift books. I love to do the Barnes & Noble buy one, get one 50% off. I'm like always out for the deal, right? But this one I was like willing, like take my money. It just wasn't in stock at my store. The next book I want to be reading is Ariadne. Don't know how to pronounce it, but this book here, it is basically just like a Greek mythology book. Another one that was really hyped up on BookTube, and I'm a basic bitch, and I'm like, okay, let me read it for the hype. The next book I want to read in the fantasy category is The Inheritance of Arcadia Divina, which I have again right here as well. I got it on Black Friday. Another one that was just really hyped up. I talked about the synopsis in my Black Friday book haul, so if you want to know what it's about, go watch that video. And yeah, that's that book. Actually, I have a lot that I want to read in this category. The next one I want to read is called The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. And this one is, what is it called? It says The Bloodsworn Saga. And this is the first book in the saga. I don't know how many books it's going to be, but it sounded really interesting. It just sounds like an epic fantasy. There's a lot of moving parts to the synopsis. I'm not going to explain it here, but this is what it looks like. The next book I want to read is For the Wolf by Hannah Whitten. And this one, I saw this in a reading vlog too, and it looked really good. Basically, it is about like this kingdom, and they have like the king and queen, they have a daughter and like two daughters or something, and the daughter gets like put in the woods or something. It's like part of a deal, right? It's a sacrifice. They put one of the daughters in the woods, and yeah. It has something to do with that. That's like, I'm trying to think because like I watched the reading vlog a while ago, but when I watched the reading vlog, I was like, ooh, that book sounds really good. I want to read it. So yeah, that's another one I'm just like gonna want to read based off, that's my dog's tail that just walked by. That's another one I want to read based on the hype and based on me watching someone's reading vlog. And actually the second book to that series is coming out in 2022. So maybe I'll just like read both of them at the same time, you know, back to back. Sounds like a good idea. The next one I want to read from this category is The Jasmine Throne. This is actually going to be a trilogy. This is the first in the trilogy, which I love when things are trilogies because like I know if there's a set number of books and I'm like, ooh, okay, perfect. 1, 2, 3. I kind of hate when things, I don't know how many they're going to be. I don't know why. Just, I'd like to know how many they're gonna be. But yeah, this one sounded really interesting as well. It is a fantasy book, and you're following the two main leads of this, I think, are both females, which is really awesome. The next book I really want to read is called The Chosen and the Beautiful, and this book it follows Jordan Baker in the 1920s, which, okay, so when it said that, I was like, ooh, Jordan Baker, okay, that's Great Gatsby, right? That's Daisy Buchanan's best friend. And I was like, okay, why is there a book written about Jordan Baker? Like, was she a real person? So then I Googled her, and no, she's just a fictional character in The Great Gatsby. But somebody decided to write a book based on her. I'm like, ooh, awesome, love it. We get a little more backstory on her, but it has like a fantasy element to it. And basically, here is the beginning. Immigrant socialite magician Jordan Baker grows up in the most rarefied circles of 1920s American society. I'm pumped. And it even says she plays golf in here. And she plays golf in The Great Gatsby. So I'm like, wait, did they take this from The Great Gatsby? Or is she like a real person? No, not a real person. Next category we're going over is Best Horror, and the winner is The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix, and this is the only book I want to read from this category. I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory, like Final Girl Support Group. There's a support group of final girls from like, you know, slasher movies types of things, and then someone starts killing the girls in the group. So who's going to be the final girl of the Final Girl Support Group? Or where they all die? Who knows? I don't know. I haven't read the book, but I want to. Next, we're going over Best Nonfiction. The winner is The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green. I love John Green, but like, I don't know that I'd really read this because like, I love his like YA contemporary novels. I don't know that I'd really be into his nonfiction novel. But one book I did find in the nonfiction category I want to read, because it really is a goal of mine in 2022 to read more nonfiction, because I don't think I read any nonfiction in 2021, and I only read one nonfiction book in 2020. So I think it's something I need to introduce more into my reading habits. The one that did sound really interesting to me is called Cultish: The Language of Fanaticism, and it's basically about like cults, right? Like, how are they formed, different types of cults. I think it talks about like QAnon and stuff like that, and basically like, I don't know, like, how do people create cults, how do people fall for them, like what is your, like, what state of mind you have to be in to like become a part of a cult. I don't know, it just sounds really interesting to me. Oh my god, you guys, I totally forgot romance category. Hello. So the romance category, Best of Romance, we have is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. That was the winner, which I read Beach Read by Emily Henry this year. Absolutely loved it. 5-star read. She is, oh my god, a masterpiece at writing romance and creating depth and connection. And so Beach Read, that's how I feel about her. So I'm so happy she won this as well. I do have this book on my shelf up here. I can't wait to read it. Hopefully I read it before 2022, but probably not. Hopefully I read it in January. The next book that won is not the next one that won, but this is actually really close. So this one had 88,755 votes, People We Meet on Vacation. Second place was The Love Hypothesis with 88,192 votes. That is super close together, and I actually have The Love Hypothesis right here. I haven't read it yet, but it is another one that is on my 2022 TBR. I mean, that is the whole point of this, right? So that one I'm definitely going to be reading. I already talked about that book a few different times, so if you're interested, go watch my past videos if you want to know what it's about, but it was all over BookTube, so I'm sure you already know. The next book I want to read from this category is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, which I believe she's the girl who wrote Red, White, and Royal Blue, which I kind of DNF'd that book, and it's not because I didn't like it, it's because I read it when me and my boyfriend had a boat day. Like, we like pulled the boat up to the beach. I was reading it on the beach. Everything was going well. Rainstorm came, book got soaking wet, and now it's like all kind of gross. I'm just like, ugh. Like, I don't want to read it, but it's not because of the story, it's because of the circumstances. Anyway, One Last Stop, I think it's a sapphic love story about like these two girls that like see each other on a train, but like I think one's a time traveler. I could be totally wrong, and you might be laughing at me like, Megan, what the fuck are you talking about? But I'm pretty sure this girl's like a time traveler, or she's like from the past or something. There's something historical about the girl, okay? And yeah, so I really want to read that one. That one I've heard really great things about. The Spanish Love Deception, another one I want to read. It just has fake dating. It takes place in Spain. There's a wedding. Like, how many great things can you put in one book? I mean, that is something I want to read. And let's see, what else is on here? Ooh, Actor Age Eve Brown. I have never read the Brown sisters like series or any of their books. I've heard a lot of great things about them. The series in general is one I want to start in 2022. The X-Hex got 22,000 votes. Why? Why did anybody vote for it? Why did it not get like 2,000 votes? That book fucking sucked. I'm sorry if you voted for it, if you liked it, but no, that book was trash. Just kidding. If you liked it, not trashing your reading preferences, but like, I don't know why, I just hated the book. The other book I really want to read is Neon Gods. This one has been on the Barnes & Noble buy one get one 50% off for a while. So I've been kind of wanting to read it for a while. I just have never done it, but that is definitely one I want to read. It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I heard a lot of great things about this one as well. Really great romance novel. Very hyped up on BookTube. Want to read it for the hype, obviously. Basic bitch, did you forget? So yeah, that one is one I really want to read. It sounds like a really good summer novel, obviously. Nice little beach read, so probably read it more in the summertime. I want to read The Charm Offensive. I want to read The X Talk. And that's it for this category, but there's a lot I want to read. Next category, best debut novel, The Spanish Love Deception 1. And then all the other books that I want to read from this category are just kind of like rereads. So, and obviously I already told you I wanted to read The Spanish Love Deception. So yeah, that's the winner for that category. Next, we are going over a best young adult fiction. The winner for that category is Firekeeper's Daughter. This book I want to definitely read in 2022. It has a lot of hype around it. The cover is beautiful, and I don't really know much else about it except hype. Beautiful cover. What came in second place is The Hawthorne Legacy, and that was like my only vote casted in the Goodreads challenge because that's the only book I read out of all these books. So yeah, that one was a really great book. Highly recommend. I mean, if you haven't read The Inheritance Games, I don't recommend it. So first read The Inheritance Games, then read The Hawthorne Legacy, and then in August of 2022 read The Final Gambit, and I cannot wait for that. The next book I want to read from this category is The Cousins by Karen McManus. She's the lady who wrote One of Us is Lying, and that book, you guys, was so good of what I read of it. I DNF'd it, and it really makes me sad because I started this book and then someone spoiled the ending for me, and I was like, well, now I don't want to read the whole book because he spoiled the ending, and what the fuck is the point, because it's a mystery and I know the ending. So like there's no suspense, no build up. It's just like, okay, like I know it happens type of thing. So yeah, that was frustrating. So I don't know. Now I want to read another one of her books because, I mean, I liked that one up until I got spoiled. But yeah, so there's that. And the next book I want to read is Last Night at the Telegraph Club. I think this is like a sapphic love story, historical fiction. It sounds really good. What else is on here? Ooh, The Box in the Woods, which is the fourth book in the Truly Devious series. I thought it was a trilogy. I guess it's a series. I read the first one. So in 2022, hopefully I can read the next two and then the fourth one. Then there's also Tokyo Ever After. That book looks really good. I actually almost bought this multiple times at Barnes & Noble because they like heavily promote it. And every time I'm like, ooh, should I buy it? Should I buy it? Should I buy it? And then it's like never do, but I do want to read it. There's that. Ooh, Yoke. That one sounds really good as well. And that's everything I want to read from this category. Now we're going to move on to young adult fantasy and science fiction. The winner was Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. I haven't read any Leigh Bardugo, so I don't know if that deserved to win or not. I mean, everything. I mean, I guess it did because I got the most votes, but you know what I mean. Like, I have no comment. Never read it. And this is the second book in a duology, I believe, and I didn't read the first book, so. Anyway, what came in second place is Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. I do have Chain of Gold here. I haven't read it yet, but that's because like I want to read this bit, Mortal Instruments, then I want to read the next one, then the next one until I get to that one, you know. Came in third place is the one I do want to read, which is Lore by Alexandra Bracken. Again, just like a Greek mythology story. Oh, these Our Violent Ends got 19,000 votes. I don't know what place exactly. Let's see. That's 8th place. Got 8th place. Our Violent Ends. I really want to read these Violent Delights, so a lot of these books are like sequels, so it's like hard to say what I want to read because like I haven't read the first books, you know, like Namesake by Adrienne Young. I want to read that, but I haven't read Fable, you know what I mean? Like I want to read the first book of that duology. Ooh, Gods and Monsters was on here, hey-o, but I haven't read Blood and Honey yet. Oh, The Ones We're Meant to Find. That is actually on my shelf up there. I meant to read that, but that's one I follow said it was bad, and I was like, ugh. It kind of killed my vibe for the book, but I hope to read it in 2022. That is all the Goodreads winners and all the books I want to read in 2022. Will I read all of them? Probably not. Will I read even half of them? Maybe. We shall see. Subscribe down below if you want to check out what I read in 2022. Because I will be posting videos twice a week. I'm trying to post every Tuesday and Thursday. And then Monday, Wednesday, Friday on my other channel. If you're interested in my other channel, how to make money on the side, I have a reselling business where I sell on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. I have a whole channel dedicated to that type of inventory to pick up, how to list things, how to sell things, how to ship things, all those fun stuff. That's also linked down below if you're interested. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!